I remember working at an animal emergency hospital where I met a couple of sheriffs. And they were telling me about their job and what they did on a daily basis and what type of people they ran into. On the contrary, of course, during that week I was going through a lot and having to emotionally stabilize people to help them with their pets and helping process, deceased pets. It really took a mental toll on me, okay? So, as I'm there, okay, in the back of my mind, I'm like, man, like this is a little bit too much for me. And this kind of plays into that two things can be true at once. So the truth is that I was very appreciative of where I was, right? But it was also overwhelming. But it could be worse, okay? It could definitely be worse. When they start explaining to me about what they did and who they had to report to and what type of people they saw, I immediately was like, oh man, like what I'm going through is nothing. Like it's not, as bad. But then also at the same time, I had to realize that just because of what somebody is going through, that does not mean just because of what someone is experiencing, okay, is worse than your situation, does not mean that you have to continue to push yourself in your situation, because we all have our limits. And sometimes people are placed in different areas because of the amount of things that they can deal with on a regular daily basis. So I want you to understand that, again, two things can be true at once. You can definitely be tired of your situation, but it could be worse. But that doesn't mean that you have to keep pushing yourself every single day. It just means that you've become very aware of your limits and who you are and how much that you can take. I feel like in today's society, we're very delusional about what happiness really is. And I feel like that we've been kind of shown what happiness really means, even though that happiness can be very individualized and it means different things to different people. I went ahead and drew a picture of what I feel like people of today look like. I feel like a lot of times, again, that we hold on to nostalgic memories because that's the only place that we feel safe. And I even do it sometimes. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I feel like, again, in what's happening right now, we're kind of unraveling. And the only reason why we're unraveling is because we're having to face that shadow side. And when I mean shadow side, I don't necessarily mean like demonic, or I don't necessarily mean like something that's going to come get you like rawr. No, I mean like the traumatic points in your life that you have not grown from. It's kind of like coming up to the surface. And I feel like that's the first step of community and unity when it comes down to us moving to the next level of how we're going to resolve the situation of what's happening right now. But I'm just going to get to the picture. This is what I drew. Her eyes are buttons, not eggs. They look like eggs, but if you look closer, they're buttons. And the only reason why I did that as buttons is because of the movie Coraline. That is like one of my favorite movies. It's like, I'm trying to make sure I put this back. Okay. Go up to the top. Okay. That is one of my favorite movies. Coraline speaks so many different messages to me, especially when it comes down to like childhood trauma and kind of like what her parents represented towards her. But then it also allowed her to see, like, if I really want that life that I want, then I have to sacrifice my sight. And you know that saying that you walk by faith and not by sight, it just kind of gleams and it shows up so much like in that movie. But again, it's like you have to take away your eyes. The mom or mother was like, here, give me your eyes and I'll give you this. And I feel like right now that's kind of like what we're doing. Not kind of, but I feel like that is what we're doing on a very big, major scale. I feel like she's just kind of like entrapped in her body. In this sort of like phase where it's just like she has like no sense of being. It's like she has tears and she has bags under her eyes and she's tired, she's sad. And I feel like this resonates with me a lot because that's how I feel on a daily, especially with taking care of my babies. You kind of become the shell of a person in order to satisfy your responsibilities and the things around you, and you don't really recognize like how far gone you are because you don't have time and don't sit back and don't chill out to have time to actually enjoy your life. The reward isn't the reward, the journey is. So hopefully this resonates with you. If it doesn't, then that's fine. Sometimes it's not going to resonate. Sometimes it is going to resonate. But if it does, I really hope you like it, and I will see you soon.